Welcome back to the Tech Zone. We are everything tech here on the show. Did you know that there is a link between technology and insurance? Did you know that? Yes. Remember, we talked about it in our first segment. We talked about how there may be a way that you can save money with your insurance when it comes to technology. And my next guest is going to help us navigate through all the turns and everything and what we need to know in order to do that. You've seen her on TV. You've read her books. We're talking about Laura Adams, Senior Insurance Analyst. InsuranceQuotes joins me on the show. Laura, it is an honor to have you on. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, it is amazing to have you. My pleasure, my dear. So let's talk about insurance and technology. Insurances seem to be, catching up to technology now. They're accepting certain things so that we can bring our premiums down. Why is that the case?
Yeah, so we know that all of these gadgets, these home security gadgets, are making us safer. They're making our homes safer, right? So they can detect things like fires, carbon monoxide, motion, all of these things that can happen while either we're in the home or even away from the home. Insurance companies are catching on to the fact that these technologies, they work. They really do keep our property safe. So as a result, they are incentivizing policyholders to put these policies or put these gadgets into place and make that a part of the policy. So that could translate into 5% savings, even up to 20% savings, depending on your insurance company and the type of gadget that you're installing. So this is all really great news for consumers. We love technology, and if it can save us money on insurance, that's fantastic.
That is so true, because when we look at 10%, 20%, whatever the percentage is, that could be quite a savings added up over many years, isn't it?
Absolutely. So when you think about the cost of these gadgets, some of them are as little as $99, maybe up to $200 or $300, depending on what you choose. But you can easily pay for those if they're just installed in your home for maybe a year or two. So it's kind of a win-win situation. If you do purchase these, you can think about getting that cost back in the form of savings on your home insurance. That
is so true. And, when we look at some of the gadgets out there, because in my home, being a tech guy, it's like Fort Knox over here. I have the doorbell, I have the security cameras, I have the Nest. I have a lot of things out there that's truly saving me money. Now, one of the things that I did not know when I first got these technologies in my home was that how to contact my insurance company and let them know that I have it, because they're not going to know just by osmosis. We have to let them know. And why is that so important?
Absolutely. As consumers, we have to be proactive to let our company know what's going on with us. And so while you may think that it's no big deal, you just got the Nest or the Canary or any of these other really cool technologies, that's wonderful, but do make sure that your insurance company knows. So this is going to apply for both homeowners and renters insurance. So if you don't own a home, this still applies to you. If you've got a renter's policy, let your company know. And the types of technology that they discount, it is going to vary depending by the insurance company that you choose. But I'll tell you, more and more of them are coming on board and offering discounts. So make that quick call or that email to your company to find out what technology they give discounts for, and then let them know, hey, I've got it in place. I want to get that discount.
Laura, in looking at your article, that you just recently wrote a few weeks ago, that was online at the InsuranceQuotes website. Interesting fact, and this blew me away. In 2014, there's only 5.3% of insured homes filing a claim. And that kind of blew me away with those numbers right there.
Yeah. So, if you think about what is the likelihood that you're going to file a claim, it's going to be different for all of us, depending on maybe where you live and the circumstances with your weather and potential disasters. But if you are thinking about, what is my risk here? If it's 5% of homeowners, maybe getting a Nest or a Canary, any of these gadgets can help reduce that even further so that you don't need to file a claim. Maybe it gives you that information ahead of time to know if something is going on your property, and it can prevent you, can kind of, nip an issue in the bud quickly so that you don't have to make a claim. And not only is making a claim expensive because you've got a deductible to pay out of pocket, but it can also raise your rate over time. So we don't want to file claims that are unnecessary.
That is so true. Something happened to me a few years back. I was on my way back from the Consumer Electronics Show, had to work out there, broadcast, got home. The day later, my house was broken into. And I tried to game the system in the sense that I had an alarm system, but I didn't have it turned on. So I just had it as for aesthetics. And I tell you, the ordeal that I went through trying to replace everything, I wish I would have took the extra steps to secure my home. But after that, I, made some changes. And sometimes we think it can't happen to me. It won't happen to me. Well, I'm here to tell you, it can happen to you. So you have to prepare yourself. And have you ever talked to ones in my similar situation when they're like, hey, I just kind of dropped the ball, but I wish I would have had it?
Absolutely. These are all things that we never think about until it's too late, right? So that's what I really like to stress to consumers. Insurance is one of those things that you got to think about ahead of time, put it in place, shop every year to make sure that you've got the best policy and that you're getting the discounts that you deserve. Make sure you have enough coverage. So maybe doing a quick inventory of all your possessions will really help you know if you've got enough coverage. And then the liability portion is very important too, to make sure that you're protecting your assets. So all of these things they're no fun to think about, right? Insurance is one of those products where we buy it, but we hope we'll never have to use it. Having it, though, gives us such great peace of mind and allows you not to have to worry about these things, because life happens, break-ins happen, disasters happen, and you just need to be prepared for it. And if you're prepared and you're paying the least that you can for that coverage, you're doing everything you can to protect your financial well-being.
And if we kind of look at the cost, risk, reward factor of getting some of these devices right here, in the long run, it will save us money, because a lot of people kind of shy away from technology. Oh, it's too expensive. But what we have seen in the technological field over the past years is that they've become consumer friendly. Of course, you have your higher end products out there when it comes to security. But as you articulated during our interview right here, there are some lower cost methods out there that are cheaper than a deductible that we would have to pay if we get broken into.
That's it. So the Canary is one of the products that's really catching on with several of the big name companies. And that cost can be up to $200. And when you think about the protection that you can get for that $200 and the peace of mind and all of the functionality that it gives you, it really is worth it. And what we may find is that insurance companies will not only give you a discount to have these, but may even subsidize them. So you may be able to get a lower rate, maybe purchase these to begin with at a lower price because they're being subsidized by your insurance company. So I would say if you're considering installing any of these devices, and some of them are literally just one piece of electronics that sits in your home, call your insurance company first. Find out what they offer, because that may make you change your mind. You may want to go with maybe a Nest versus Canary or vice versa. Do your homework, find out what the discounts are, and then, get some hard numbers behind that. Find out, what can I save? And then that'll really help you do the math to say, yes, it's worth the investment of a couple $100 because I'm going to save 5-10%, not only next year, but for multiple years into the future. And so you kind of get to that break-even point where it really makes sense to invest.
So Laura, to make sure that I'm hearing correctly, because my wife tells me I don't listen that good sometimes, so I want to make sure that I'm listening correctly. So there are some technologies out there, are manufacturers that insurance recognize over the other because of the reputation factor of some of these products?
That's it. So they're forming partnerships, strategic partnerships with certain technologies. And when they really believe in that product and they know that it's proven to help consumers stay safe, help property owners keep their property safe, it's in their best interest to form these alliances. So there's a lot of financial incentives there with insurance companies. So don't discount those. Do your homework first before you invest, because that could save you even more money in the long run.
That makes a lot of sense. And for some of our viewers and listeners out there who may not be familiar with your work and your book, you are an authority when it comes to finances, and you can help us to save a few bucks. So I think everybody needs to listen to Laura because she knows definitely what she's talking about. And Laura, what are some of the biggest mistakes that homeowners make when it comes to insurance? Because I've heard some horror stories, especially when it comes to renters insurance too. I've heard some horror stories that made my stomach just turn because something has happened. They didn't have the right type of insurance. They became homeless. A lot of horror stories. So what are some of the just bonehead things that we can do sometimes when it comes to insurances, and how can we protect ourselves?
Yeah, you mentioned one of them. Renters insurance is a biggie. 60% or more of renters, we do the survey just about every year, and we find that about 60% at least of renters don't have renters insurance. And that is a really big mistake because not only do you get lots of great protection from it, but it's really inexpensive. The average cost is $187 per year for a renter's policy. And that protects not only your personal belongings, but your liability. And it gives you living expenses if you come home one day and your rental home is burned down or if there's been a severe disaster. It will pay for you to go live somewhere else and even get meals while you can't live in the rental. So for that amount per year, renters, I just really want to, hammer that one home. You need to have renters insurance. So that's a huge mistake that I see all the time. Another issue that I see with both home and auto insurance is people not understanding the connection between credit and insurance. Our credit does impact the rate that we have to pay for auto and homeowners insurance and renters insurance in most states. There are about 3 states that do prohibit that. So if you're neglecting your credit, this is going to cause your rates for insurance to go up. So keep your credit in good shape. Not only is it going to be good for you when you need to take out a car loan or you're looking at a credit card, but it's going to keep your insurance rates lower as well.
Now, Laura, let's say that a renter would like to make sure that their home is secure with the cameras, with the Nest, with whatever it is out there to protect themselves. Should they communicate with their landlord when it comes to this subject right here?
They really don't have to. It's really up to us as renters to protect our personal belongings and our personal property. So they don't really have to communicate with a landlord about it. In a lot of cases, these technologies really stand alone. They don't take a lot of difficult installation. There are some apps like the Ring app, which will allow you to place a device right on your doorbell. So if you have an exterior doorbell, that may be something that you want to talk to your landlord about. And that's a motion camera that will actually ring your phone and tell you when somebody's at your front door, either to deliver a package or maybe somebody's there that shouldn't be there. So depending on your situation, if you do have a front entry, that could be something you want to talk to your landlord about. But in most cases, these technologies really are very kind of DIY. You can install them yourself and benefit and really don't need to inform anyone else about it.
And lastly, before we let you go, Laura, let's talk about the business sector now. Now, even though business insurance is expensive, I was a business owner before, managed businesses before, and I know that premium can be pretty high. Could these security devices help out lower even businesses and their premium that they have to pay too? And if so, what are some things that businesses really need to make sure that they have in their businesses to help lower the cost and keeping the compound secure?
Yeah, definitely. If you've got a retail location, you've got a standalone business, let's say outside of your home, this is something that you definitely need to be looking at. Security is a big issue, cybersecurity in addition to actual physical security. So those cameras, alarms, particularly if those alarms are tied into the authorities 24/7. So they're tied into police and fire 24/7. That's the key there. Those typically will give you a discount. And if you're operating a business out of your home, some of these devices that we're talking about are also going to apply to you as perhaps a small business owner or a freelancer or contractor working out of your home. So there's some crossover there with these technologies for sure. I think the key for business owners is really to talk to your insurance company or agent and get their advice. As you said, it can be very expensive. So that's kind of like a whole separate type of insurance that really has very specialized needs. Talk to your company, talk to your agent, and find out what they recommend based on the type of business that you have. They'll be able to give you some guidance to cut the cost.
And Laura, too, we also want to let them know that to make sure they have it hooked up and turned on. Don't make the mistake that I did. Just have it out just for aesthetics. No, but make sure you have it on. And Laura, I know, like myself, sometimes I'm busy. It's hard. I like to shop around for different insurance prices. What's the best way to shop around? Is there a website we can go to, wink, 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 that can help us navigate through all the insurance jargon?
I love insuranceQuotes.com, not only because it is an easy website to get through and maneuver through, but it's going to allow you to shop one time and get multiple quotes back. So that really makes it more efficient and convenient for shoppers. So no matter if you're interested in auto, home, health, life, or business coverage, simply start with the form at insuranceQuotes.com. Put your zip code in. It will prompt you through a series of questions. Very easy. And I really encourage people to shop for insurance at least once a year. There's no downside to shopping, and you can switch at any time if you find a better deal. So I always say as consumers, our responsibility is to get the best product at the lowest price. So we have to be proactive. The best way to be proactive is just to shop and compare. If you're doing that on a regular basis, you can be sure that you're getting the best value and you're not leaving any money on the table.
Well said, well said. And how can our viewers and listeners find out more information about you, your podcast, Money Girl Podcast, your book and everything? How can they connect with you and then stay connected?
Absolutely. So you can learn more about me at insuranceQuotes.com, also on my personal site at lauradadams.com. And we take questions about insurance at insuranceQuotes.com. So feel free to use that question and answer system, and we can get back to you with any unresolved issues that you may have about insurance.
Awesome, Laura. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you with me on the Tech Zone. And I know our listeners and viewers out there have really had a lot of things that they can think about to make sure they protect themselves and maybe even saving a little money out there in their pocket. It's been an honor having you, and we love to have you back on again as we talk more and more about this subject.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work.
That was the beautiful Laura Adams joining me here on the Tech Zone. And when we get back, is Uber the transportation virus? You ever thought about that? Some of you are Uber fans out there. Well, my next guest joining me coming up after the break helps to answer that question. We'll be right back for more Tech Zone after these messages.